The pajama tea party progresses as one might expect, with thermal heating on a couple of degrees and change into our night dresses. Rika serves us her special tea while we chow down on cookies baked by the twins. Gossip-loving Ichigo brings up a topic, and Erika, ever opinionated, gives her view. Takasaki, who tends to look at things from a different angle from the rest of us, chimes in with a startling comment, surprising us all, as we are wondering why we're not seeing these beautiful night dresses. Feels like forever since we've engaged in a whimsical conversation, which makes me enjoy this time all the more. However, looking back, I suppose it's inevitable with both Ringo and Takasaki here. Due to their influence, the night is soon headed in quite a different direction to a quaint tea party my Amity partner and I envisioned. Oh god, poor Class Prez. How did an innocent tea party turn into this? My Amity partner wails as she clings to my arm. I can't disagree with her, and yet... Oh my god, that is... Just frame that, print it out, frame it, stick it on a wall. That is beauty, right there and then. Of course you already know this since you've seen that on the thumbnail. This may not be the season for it, but telling ghost stories with everyone has always been one of my dreams. We didn't entertain one another with tales like supernatural before, but never all together like this. Honestly, I'm thrilled. Because Chidorin insisted. I can't deny it, but Ringo wanted to as well. It's not fair to pin it all on me. But she doesn't look all that put out. In fact, she's grinning. Okay, I've told my story. So who's next, Erika? You want me to pitch third? The stories I've got left will be too much of a prez. How about you, Sasaki? I don't have any personal anecdotes, as there's one I told before, but about Akira's doll. Vetoed. The prez won't sleep for a week. Isn't that scary? Her fingers clutching my arm tighter. But I do feel bad for her. I'm also pleased she's come to me for protection. We're all told 2 stories each, right? Except for... I expect everyone to look at Ringo-san, who's only told 1, and Rika, who's naturally afraid to join in. But instead, their gazes converge on me. For my first story, I told them about the hospital that I heard of my grandfather. This time, it should be something I've experienced myself, right? It doesn't have to be, but I guess those kinds of stories are more interesting. That settles it. Okay then. I'll tell you about something that happened to me personally. Digging back from my memories, I start to tell a ghastly tale. This is about a dream. Oh, you're telling a dream story too? Yes. Oh, this is one that hovers between dream and reality. I set the scene. My mother was in hospital, so it was just me and my father at home. So your father was away a lot on business trips too? Yes. He did his best not to leave me at home, but this time he was going to be away for 6 days. I wasn't old enough to look after myself, so I told him not to worry. But then, on the second day he was away, something terrible happened. A ghost began to pay you nightly visits. I stroked the back of Rika's hand, comfortingly, telling him it was something far less supernatural. The electricity cut out. You had a power cut? Looking back at it now, I think that with his new job and my mum in the hospital, my dad probably hadn't got behind on the bills. But at the time I didn't know what to do. Couldn't you just call your dad? I wet my lips and went on. I didn't want to bother him. He was already so stressed with everything going on with my mum, so I decided to just deal with it for the next 4 days until he got home. Well, I suppose you could just go to bed when it got dark. I nod. I tell him because the water and stove ran on gas, I was okay for bath and food, but I just couldn't go out on my nightly reading sessions. I mean, there's a book where I get that. But you had no lights, right? We had an emergency bag shoved at the back of a closet, and I knew there were candles in it. So if someone went down, I got them and lit them. Just like this. For a long moment I stared into the flickering flame of the candles. Sensing my story was about to take a turn, but the others remained silent. Dredging up my old memories, I continue on. I got everything ready before dark, and after the sunset, I stood with the candles upon my table and read until I fell asleep. I can imagine the scene. It must have been wonderfully atmospheric. It was. But as I tried to concentrate on the pages before me, I was frustrated by how dim it was. First I tried to add in more candles, but there weren't enough of them. The rest of my gaze fell upon a mirror in my room. I thought of a way to make a single flame even brighter. I could create an infinity mirror around a candle. Yes, smart idea. I knew about the mysterious associations they had, but I set up mirrors around a candle, the effect, rows of candles marching off into the distance, was incredibly beautiful. It seemed brighter too, so I went back to reading in front of my infinity mirror. Feeling inspired, I decided to reread my favourite book. The third day of my father's trip passed by without incident. I could see where this is going. By the fourth day I was used to my routine. When night fell, I set everything up and settled in to read. Then before I knew it, I fell asleep. And then you began to dream. In my dream I was in darkness so thick I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. But my eyes gradually adjusted and I saw I was still midway up a seemingly endless flight of stairs, and I was climbing them higher and higher. I climbed and climbed, yet I didn't tire. One thing I intuitively understood, but I mustn't reach the top. And then, just before I reached the end of a long flight, I felt a strange presence. And then I woke up. As my eyes opened, the candle before me gutted out. Hurriedly I snuffed out the other candles and dove into bed. Suddenly the wind rattles the window and my Amitié partner jumps. The tension in the room mounts. Ringo starts staring intently at one of the candles. It was a bad dream, but it was just a dream. I spent the fifth day as usual night. I read by candlelight. I'm impressed. I definitely wouldn't have had the guts after that. I suppose because I knew my father would be back the next day, and I also figured the same strange occurrence wouldn't possibly happen again. I set up the infinity mirror and started to read, and at some point, I fell asleep. And I have the same dream again, I say, turning the scene over in my mind as I speak. As the day before, I was climbing the staircase in total darkness. This time as I climbed, I grew more and more fatigued. The higher I climbed, the heavier it told on my body, yet I couldn't stop myself from moving ever upward. As the pain intensified, so too did the feeling that something bad was going to happen. The top of the stairs were getting closer and closer. Long relief would finally be over and came to a dread that I'd soon be over and done with too. Filled with fear and anticipation, I can now see where stairs cut off ahead of me. And then... the clatter of the wind interrupts me. Everyone shrinks back and tell them I woke up before I reached the top of the stairs, and a palpable wave of relief comes through their room. So you never reached the top of the stairs? Dream stories really are creepy. They do have their own unique vibe. But we're getting further into discussing it. I tell them that my story isn't over yet. I thought your dad was coming back about 6th day. I thought so too, but my father didn't return at the time he was supposed to, and I waited for him. Night fell. Night? You mean? Yes. I set myself up to read in front of a mirror again. Searching stairs, that's one question. Why? I don't know the answer to that myself. Despite the late hour, he never not come home before, so I thought he'd return while I was reading. On the surface, that was my reasoning. But looking back on it now, I'm unsure of my real reasons. Perhaps I was in a precarious place mentally due to my mother's illness. That night, I spent most of my time staring at the reflections of a candle flame in the mirrors rather than reading. Something about it soothed me. Then, as I simply gazed at the flickering noise, I felt no fear. At some point, I fell asleep, and in my dream I was once again surrounded by darkness. But this time I wasn't climbing the staircase. I had already arrived at the top. There was something terrifying and waiting for you there? No. Not yet. There was a small landing with a chair. I sat on the chair and waited. For what? For something to come up the stairs. When I couldn't see a thing in the impenetrable blackness, I knew that something was slipping up those stairs towards me. I don't know how much time passed as I sat there in the darkness, unable to move, simply waiting for something to arrive. All I knew was this wouldn't be long soon. Whatever it was, I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. I wanted to close my eyes, but I couldn't. The only sound that came from when I was crawling up the stairs, and then, all of a sudden, I saw a white hand reach out in the dark. Fear jolted me awake, and in front of me was a guttering candle, and my own reflection in the mirror, shining with a cold sweat. And then, I was there in an infinity mirror. Oh, obviously it was a mirror. No, not like that. For me, looking back at me was laughing. I knew that my face was frozen in a mask of fear, but the endless procession of Suohs I saw in the mirror were laughing. And then, me in the mirror reached one pale hand out towards me, and at just that moment, my father finally arrived home. The candle blew out, and she was gone. I informed me was the end of my tale, and everyone lets out a collected breath. Jeez. You really outdid yourself with that one. Hanabishi-san so scared you would make a sound. I quickly looked at Riku, staring fixedly down at her feet, putting arm around her shoulders. I tell him I'm sorry. I'm fine. I'll cover my ears for the last part. So she says, but her hands are gripping my arm so tightly, it almost hurts. I stroke her head comfortingly. It's probably time to wrap this up. I'm not sure we can handle any more tonight. Are we finishing already? Everyone looks to Ringo, who's spoken up for the first time. The star enters the ring, huh? I wonder what was going on with you. You've been quiet this whole time. My next story is somewhat complex yarn, so I was thinking of how best to spin it. Oh, this sounds promising. But if the excited chatter, I'm the only one who catches my Amitié partners whispered, "Give me a break." Take a sip of my cold tea and hide my smile. Now, I personally will close out our evening. My story is about a tulpa. But word brings a perpetual gasp from me as I look to Ringo. Everyone else, except Chichigo, is also looking at her with suspicion, as she smiles faintly in response. Seems you all heard of tulpas. I believe it's quite an unusual topic for a ghost story. It's also an unusual topic to end the episode on. So I'm going to end it here and let you enjoy it next episode. Until then, thanks for watching, a wonderful day, and bye-bye.